Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's nice having everyone here today. How are we doing? Let me see us in the comment section. Our name, where we are chatting from. Let's meet ourselves. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Mary. How are you doing? How are you doing? Where are you chatting from? Let's meet ourselves. Okay, maybe I should start. Good afternoon. My name is Okolua and the community associate at Decade Girls, and I'm chatting from Ogun State. So let us also meet you at in the comment section. Thank you, Mary. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You're welcome, everybody. Please let's invite our friends. If you have anybody that you know is supposed to be here, let's invite them and bring them on board. Let's invite them and bring them on board. Let's remind them on the channels that we had that it's about to go down at Tech It Girls monthly tech talk. Okay. Mary is from Lagos State. Okay. Mary from Lagos State. Thank you so much for joining in. Can we meet others as well? Thank you so much. Okay, let's go straight to the program for today for the program. So once again, my name is Okwaluwa. I want to welcome everybody to today's tech talk once again. I mean, it's been an amazing ride all this while, and today's topic it's talking about breaking into tech and breaking the stereotypes in tech. I mean, there's been this back and forth with it's only the males that can do this more, or the ladies can just do certain things in the technology world. Like probably ladies are not fit into certain parts of technology. So we really want to diverse into this discussion to understand, okay, how can both genders, the equality, how can there be a balance such that everybody can strike a balance in the tech world? So that's it. That's like a summary of everything we want to look into today. And I believe that we are all prepared with our questions to ask our guest speakers. And the amazing thing is our guest speakers are even here for us already. They are with us already. So I will go straight to introducing them while we then move to the main session for today. So our first speaker is great. I'll be introducing our two speakers to us, then I'll bring them on board as they are expected to come on board. The first person is Akinpelu Grace Abiodun. Akinpelu Grace Abiodun is a multi-talented professional who specializes in graphic design and video editing. She has a degree She has a degree in animal nutrition and biotechnology from the renowned Ladoke Akintola University of Technology. She also has a passion for baking, which she learned by herself. She leverages the internet to acquire new skills and start her tech career and entrepreneurship. Akinpelu Grace Abiodun is currently employed by Rubis Technology and also contributes to various NGOs and organizations by using her skills to help them grow. She enjoys sharing her inspiring story with others and motivating them to pursue their goals. She believes that anyone can learn anything by using the internet and having a strong desire for self improvement. So on this note, I like us to, you know, big welcome Miss Akinpelu Grace. I mean, I've been hearing about her, and her story inspires me a lot, particularly. I mean, the first time I met her was doing the first cohort of Tech It Girls, where she was a guest speaker, and she was telling us how, she started without a laptop, and here she is today doing amazing work already. So once again, it's such a privilege to have you, Miss Grace Akinpelu. Thank you so much for joining in, ma.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure
Yeah,
to be here. Thank you so much.
thank you. So you can have the floor now, ma. Thank you.
All right. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to be here again because this is the second time I think I'm showing up here. But I think the first time
Yeah,
was not on the talk. Please, I apologize for the background noise. It will be off soon. So, this is how many minutes do I have, please?
15 minutes, ma.
All right. Okay. 15 minutes is a very short time for what I prepared, but I'll do justice. I want to be
The
very simple
question.
here because I believe that everything I would like to say should be relatable, not anything complicated or sharing quotes and nuggets. No, I want us to relate here. So, to start with, it's a privilege to share my experience here because if you asked me like few years ago that would you be speaking at a tech event here, I would probably say no. I will be somewhere baking without not thinking of anything tech. But I'm here now. Thank you so much, Tech It Girls. So I would like us to take a quick exercise. So imagine yourself in a room now, and let's say a fintech organization, and you are entering into the place. What do you expect? So you would probably expect that you meet guys, let's say 70% guys and 30% ladies. That was few years ago though. Like probably 70% guys, 30% ladies, and they are probably putting on glasses on this round neck and looking a particular kind of way tech people look like. I went for a tech event, and it was exciting to see that people have diversified, and this stereotype of okay tech should be projected in a particular way has somehow in recent years dropped down. So I prepared my slides to align my thought process so that I won't spend more than I can be a bit of storyteller. So let me just share my screen now. So tech for all. Though when I hearing that the major stereotype that people speak about these days is gender stereotype, and I don't want to come in that line today. I really want to let you know that there is success in that area. Like generally, you would think that tech is majorly for guys, but these days you see ladies doing so well, and thank God for our thanks to our role models, our frontiers that are bringing it to our face to see that okay, tech is not just for for guys. So, what are stereotypes? They are often unfair and untrue beliefs. So, obviously, what you are trying to break here is not true. Everything we'll be discussing is not true. That many people have about a particular thing, and here we'll be speaking about tech. So, how much has this stereotype eaten up in the tech industry? There's a level of exclusion and bias that we suffered lately, and they believe that if you be in tech you must have probably studied a course in probably in engineering or computer science, or you must particularly be probably you must be a guy because they believe that they have the time to learn it. Even thinking about it now, while we're in school, in engineering department you will see in a particular department you will see like 150 guys, 7 ladies. And why is that? To show that okay, the gender bias is already been broken. So but now there's this particular one that I got myself in, and I want to be permitted to move in that line. So another thing is that youth involvement has been so high in tech. You don't see children, you don't see adults, but I would like you to know that that is not true. It is not. Their intellectual qualification for starting a tech career probably must be smart, you must be an A student, you must be someone that can reason so well, you must be this and that. That has been broken, and that is not true as well. So not all these things are true, and nothing justifies everything I've listed. Nothing justifies all this. You must not be a particular gender. You must not have studied a particular course. You must not even be a particular age, and you must not be so excellent intellectually to be in tech. So these are not justified because we've seen people do better than that. So, and I would like to ask now at this point that are you familiar with these terms? This is 1211, agri-tech, law-tech, fintech, law-tech, okay, techpreneur, scratch. So I think you're familiar with all these agri-tech, okay, agri in technology, tech in law, finance and tech, an entrepreneur that decided to start a career in tech. And for Scratch, Scratch is an app for kids. Kids use Scratch to code. So kids are now involved in tech even at their young age, at the age of 6, age of 7. And the organization I work for, Good For Me, I know now that kids at their early stage can start creating sites, can start doing great stuff in tech. You've heard of women in tech too. All this is just in a bid to improve and explore practices. You want to do well in agric. So this picture now of someone that wants to run a logistic company, an entrepreneur. Really, I'm interested in sending goods from here and here. And there's this other person. Okay, that is one person. And there's this other person that has the same mindset, but the person thought it's wise to work more smart or work more smartly, and the person decides to add tech. In what way does the person really need to code? Not necessarily though. And now this person decides to include the idea of tracking my goods. So I'm sending something from somewhere and now I can track it. You've involved tech in your own field, and that is just to, improve whatever you are doing. So what are the problems you want to solve in your field, and how can you use tech? So is tech really for everyone? Why break this stereotype? What's the future of work? Must I really be in tech? I really want to be a fashion designer, a very great one at that. Must I learn to code? Not necessarily, but what is the future of work? So I'll be saying a story now. You remember the days of I don't know if you remember vividly when Android phone came, or especially this screen touch, and our parents then most of them were just limited to, most of the uneducated ones will be limited to this small phone, Nokia phone, the small one specifically without screen touch. And in the space of few years now, we realize that most of these adults really want to be involved in using, even if they can't operate it, they just want it. Because the future of phone now is that you must be using an Android screen touch, even probably another operating system, but a screen touch. They want to swipe, they want to be in the future of technology. So this is how it is applicable in our world now. What is the future of work? What is the future of our career? What is the future of that work you are doing? Now I'm a baker, and what brought me into tech, or what brought me into, okay, people are saying that graphic design is not a tech skill, it is a data skill. I don't even send them because that's another stereotype. I shall know I'm solving a problem of the future. So now I am a baker, and then while I was in school, I make cakes, and then I buy toppers, cake toppers, and these things are quite expensive. So I just wanted to be able to do these things myself and customize them. So I decided to venture into graphic design. I did not even know it was graphic design. I wanted to learn the software that can help me to do that. So I was projecting it into the future. Okay, I can't keep buying this thing when it can be made and I can start making it for people. And I would like to tell you now that even before I left school, I was making toppers for a particular vendor in school, and she was reselling, because I just felt like, okay, I can't continue like this. I can't continue being a consumer. Okay, in what area, in what way am I adding my quota? And now, easily, when a customer or a client is coming now, it is very easy for me to just customize whatever I want to give to the person without going out there to buy it. So what's the future of work? We know that there's no career or there's no field you are in now that you don't want to work smart. You don't want to work smart. You don't want to, you just want to keep doing it the archaic or old way. So if you are a future person, if you are a person of the future, you must one way be a producer of tech and not just a consumer. If not, you'll be left behind like some of our parents that decided not to learn how to operate the Android phone. Now they really want to, now they have to learn it because they have to use it. Their kids are abroad, they want to message them, they want to have a video chat, and they will have to be teaching them, okay, mommy, swipe, do this, do that. Meanwhile, it could have been something that would be, if they had accepted it earlier enough, because sooner or later you have to accept the fact that tech is the future. So if you're not accepting now, you are just bringing yourself to that point of being our parents that eventually will have to learn it. So how do I get involved? So this is where I'm heading to actually. So how do I do this? Okay, I really want to sincerely. I've heard what you said, and I really want to be involved. I want to break the stereotype of okay, not everybody will go into tech. I really don't want to be just a consumer of tech. I want to be a producer. I want to be involved. Tell me what this thing is. So number one way of doing this, which I will emphasize on, is breaking from self-fulfillment to self-development, staying relevant. So I think I shared a bit of my story. So self-fulfillment is that now I'm a baker. I love baking. It gives me joy. I'm passionate about it. But now I want to break into self-development. Can I survive in the future by just being happy about what I'm doing? Or do I want to develop myself into what will be relevant in the future? That's two things. I can say, okay, I'm a baker, I bake cakes, I'm just sitting here, but there's a way of staying relevant in the future. Now I want to brand my cake business, and now I don't know how to. I don't even know. I'm not exposed in any way. I really don't want to. I just want to outsource the job. At the end of the day, you won't get what you want. But imagine yourself having an idea of what you want and how it can be done. Even though you won't be doing it yourself, but you have a broad idea and you won't be limited by what anybody gives to you. So breaking from the aspect of I'm just happy with what I'm doing. I like staying on a sewing machine. I like to sew from morning till night. I really like it. I like pressing that machine like that. But there are people that have websites now that you don't have to message them on WhatsApp to place your order. They have websites. They are able to expose themselves to the future of work, and they are relevant. Yesterday I was looking for a vendor that would do something for me, and I went to a lady's Instagram page, and I wanted to just click. Normally, you just click and you're going to the person's WhatsApp page. But this lady was able to stay relevant in her field and made everything so easy and beautiful. So what I clicked on was going to lead me to our website. And in our website, I could see a lot of offer. WhatsApp can be distracting, but it was so beautiful to see that someone is making most of what will make her relevant. So now, whatever you want to do, I want to be a medical doctor, I want to be this or that. Let me just inform you and let me put it to you that technology is applicable in your field. In what way do you want to break from I am happy with what I'm doing to how do I sustain myself in this field over time? Please, it is just something I'm saying now that see, don't the stereotype will have to be broken by you knowing that you are not just doing it, you are not just venturing into tech to be happy. As much as you can gain happiness from it, you have to think of developing yourself as a person of the future. The next point is integrating and including integration and inclusion. So now nobody is asking you to leave your field. Nobody is saying you should not do what you love. Nobody is saying that you should be like anybody else. Must you be like these tech people with the glasses and be on laptop? And I used to say now that laptop is one thing that everybody should have, because the price of getting a phone these days, can we even get a laptop? So laptop is like a gadget that you should have. Like, and once I hear someone say I don't have a laptop, I'll be like, why don't you have a laptop? Like, I feel because of where I am now, I broke from a place of okay, we don't really need to have it, but now I'm in a place of okay, I need to develop myself to know that it is not ideal at this point not to be able to rapport or relate with what is happening in the future. So integrating tech into your career is what I want to discuss now. That's not really, you don't have to leave that part you are in, but in what way can you improve it? Like the story of the logistic people I mentioned, the person is still on the same career path, into haulage or delivery and the likes. But at the same time, the person has added a bit of ease and smartness into what he's doing, and there's an edge for that person. So you have to really find a way of integrating tech into what you're doing. And this is not even gender based. I really don't want to move in the part of gender, because it is like as a lady, I feel like saying this means that we don't even know what to do. Let's take action. Let's leave that part of when we start showing that it is possible, we don't even need to discuss it again. The only thing we cannot just be discussing is how to encourage ourselves and breaking from, I think we've discussed it here, imposter syndrome and the likes. When you are in a place, there are 50 guys, you are the only lady. We can keep discussing that, but it's taking action that would make people know that we are serious about it. So that's why I try to not go on that path and letting you know that whatever you are doing now, the stereotype of gender bias or anything has been broken. Now that one is far gone, but presently now you have to find a way of integrating technology, because one of the limitation we have now is that people don't know, which is leading me to my next point: advocacy. We need to advocate to break this stereotype. A lot of people don't know, for reals. A lot of people don't even know that. Someone close to me messaged me, and I felt so guilty a particular day, and she messaged me, someone so close to me, that I wouldn't believe that she does not know. She was like, my sister, what is tech? What is even this tech thing? Who are those in tech? What is tech? Go, 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 go. What is technology? And the reason why she asked the question was that she went for an interview as a teacher, and they told her in that school that they don't use marker. Imagine. They don't use marker, they don't use chalk or anything. They project, they create slides, they join clips together, a bit of video editing for their students. They don't use marker in the school, and she really wants to be involved now. So now you should now imagine that someone sitting somewhere and saying, I don't need to know how to operate a laptop. I should be, I want to teach now. There's marker and pen. What is there to do? And there's a school projecting into the future to let you know that no, you don't need all those things. Eh? We don't want it again. We are in the future. Let us, be smart about work. You don't need to dust yourself to be a teacher. And now she has to start learning. And she has to break the fact that because I studied education now, I can't be in tech, because she is now a producer. She has to create videos for her students if she wants to stay relevant in that school. So you have to advocate and let people know. If it will take you, telling people consciously that are you learning any tech skills? Do you know how to operate a computer? Because it will be funny that some people don't know. I think I've shared my story on the platform before that. Even as at my 400 level or so, I did not know how to operate a laptop. I would be scared to flip anybody's laptop because I would be scared that I would, cancel everything they've done. Probably even to on the laptop. That was like a few years ago. As at 400 level, a project student. So you should think that that's not reasonable. But it is, there are people like that. So don't let everybody around you stay ignorant, and don't be. So people are still ignorant. So we have to advocate for learning a particular test. If for nothing, okay. I would like to let you know at this point that I learned Python at a particular time. And was it because I really wanted to go into anything related to that? No, I was just curious because I had someone close to me that was doing data analysis or data engineering or so. And I was like, what are you guys really doing? What are you doing? And I tell the class, do you know that I was the best in the class, or let's say second best in that class? And it's opened my mind to the fact that you can really learn this thing. You don't have to. I did not study computer engineering. I don't even have any basic knowledge, but because I was able to follow through in the class, I realized that if I put my mind to this thing, I can really do it. I dedicate my time. I did not even dedicate my time, truth be told, because I was baking, I was doing some other things, I was going to class, my project was there, and I was even using phone. I think the Google Collab or something, that was what we were using then. I was not using a laptop. And I realized that if I stay true to this, I would be excellent in it. So let us advocate. And the last point now, because of time, is that we should bring our role models to limelight. Tech It Girls is founded by a lady, and she's doing so well in tech. And I know as someone that advocate a lot. So we want to bring people like that to the limelight. Share your story, tell people your story, let them know that okay, no, I'm a lady and I can do this. I did not study computer engineering or anything, and I'm in tech. Let's bring this kind of people. Let's celebrate them as much as we celebrate those that are in the field that probably they have a background of it. And let's celebrate people that have given themselves to breaking this stereotype. Let us bring them to the limelight. Let's share their story. Let's celebrate them as a woman crush, as our Wednesday crush, and everywhere. Let people know that there's possibility of breaking this stereotype. So I'll be rounding up now. Let's speak of these people in events. Let's invite them to talks like Tech It Girls I've done now, because now this is for me, this is like a thumbs up, like okay, what you are doing, you are recognized, you can keep it up. And I believe that one or two persons are encouraged here today. So bringing people that have, given themselves to breaking this stereotype, let us bring them out. Let us allow the world to see the possibility that tech is for everybody, for children, for adults, for kids. Another good story I'll be sharing before I wrap up is that there was a time I had the chance to see into an online school that teaches people how to code. And there's this student they had. He's a medical doctor. He has been practicing for years, but he got bored and he wanted to try something new. Do you know he enrolled into this school and now he's on the path of data science or so, data engineering or so. And now he's grown already. He should be retiring somewhere, but this person decides to stay relevant. Everybody, for adults, for children, for youth, for female, for male. There's no limitation. Tech is for everybody. So I'll be closing by saying that be the best you can be and break the bias and stereotype that you want. You can do it. So I take it, girls, we believe that you can do it and you can make it happen. Thank you for listening. And I know that there'll be a lot of questions. I'll be here to answer them. And I would be glad to encourage one or two persons with my story. Thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. I mean, that was the last part got me. Be the best you can be. And of course, as tech girls always tell us, you can do it. All you just need to do is make it happen. You can actually do it and you can make it happen. You just need to start from a place. Like all it takes is for you to take a step. Just take that step that you can. I mean, immediately you take that step, you'll be amazed at how much you can do. And another thing I got from what you said also is, I mean, staying, putting our mind to it and staying at it. I mean, be consistent with it. Show up for yourself every day. Show up for yourself. Don't we really need to outgrow this thought of, oh, I'm a lady, maybe there's a limit to what I can do. Maybe it's
Yeah.
only I can only do this part with tech. Maybe this is part is not for me. I mean, and that's really the essence of this gathering today, making us realize that we need to go out of this thought that we can be more of ourselves. So thank you so much, Grace. I mean, we're still coming to the question and answer session. It's going to be more like a panel session. We have some questions for you about this. So I mean, while we hold on that, we would like to have our next speaker. We'd like to bring him on board now so he can also is the floor and then we can have our panel session. So thank you so much once again, Grace. I mean, personally, I have a lot of questions, so just calm down for us. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Grace. All right, thank you everyone that listened in so far. Thank you, and you're just joining us. Thank you so much, Taiwo. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to know where you're joining from. I mean, let's do talk to our friends. If you have any person that you would like to join, please let's share this link so that they are able to join. Thank you very much. So our next speaker is a software developer. Let me the software developer. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get his profile. Okay. So his name is Ogene Maro. I'm so sorry, sir, if I'm pronouncing your name, I'm not pronouncing it rightly. I'm sorry, but I would like you to tell me, like, pronounce it for us. So his name is Ogene Maro. He's a software developer with expertise in Flutter for mobile and web apps, as well as Node.js and Laravel, Laravel for backend development. In his free time, he likes to cook, he likes to write, and also likes to learn new things. He is a firm believer that anyone can be anything if given the time, the opportunity. I mean, I like to repeat that. He believes that anybody or anyone can be anything if you are given the time and the opportunity. So let's make welcome Mr. Ogenemaro. You're welcome, sir. We're so glad to
Thank you
have
very
you. Thank you so much. I mean, we are even twinning in glasses. Mm.
Yeah.
It's good
So
to have
I
you here.
heard you say something about classes.
You said,
I
yes,
heard
I
you
was saying
say
I wanted
something
to
about
like pronouncing your name. Like, I would like to know the pronunciation. I'm so sorry. I feel like I pronounced it wrongly. I just wanted to know the
Okay, the name is
pronunciation.
Okenemaro.
Okay. Okay, Nemaru. All right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, sir. You have the floor. Thank you so much. It's nice having you once again.
All right. Thank you very much for having me here. Hello, everyone, wherever you're tuned in from. It's actually a pleasure to be here to talk to you all today. So when we talk about tech and the stereotypes that come with tech, I think the first issue is that many people have limited understanding of what tech actually is. So as a result, they look at tech from the wrong lens. So when they hear tech, the first thing that comes to their minds is either coding or something really difficult, right? But that's not really the case. Now, yes, a large part of tech will require you to write code, but not all parts of tech, or not all aspects of tech will actually require you to write code. Now, Grace, while she was talking, mentioned that she sees herself as a tech person, and that is true, right? Even though people tell her that as a graphics designer, what she is a digital person, not a tech person, it's really difficult for anyone to want to separate being a digital person from being a tech person. Now, that being said, let us focus on how we can break these stereotypes. Grace has really done a very good work laying the background for what these stereotypes are and uh, how people actually view them. So I would like to reiterate that no matter how old or how young you are not too old or too young to get into tech. I'll say that again. No matter how old or how young you are not too old or too young to get into tech. Now, for you to get into tech, the major thing you require is actually time. One big issue people have is the fact that they want to move from point A to point C so quickly without having to pass through point B. And point B is where the actual work is. And that's where most of these stereotypes come in. So the first stereotype of tech is the male thing. It's not actually true, right? I had this discussion with someone about 2 years ago, and I was able to prove to the person that that's not actually the case because the reason why people feel like we have more men in tech is because the women on their own part have looked at themselves and said, well, it's not really something I can do. I don't think it's something I have the energy for. I don't have the wit to be able to do that. And that on its own is the problem that has led to that stereotype of tech being a male thing or a male thing. But thank God today we have many software engineers, we have many product managers and whatnot who are women. So that already is already been broken. The next is the age bracket thing. Now you hear people sometimes telling you, "I am too old for this thing already. There's no way this thing will enter again." Now the problem there is not the person being too old or too young to learn, but not being able to dedicate enough time to learn. Now whatever skill you want to groom, you want to get in life, you have to dedicate time. That is why people go to the university and spend 4, 5, 6, 7 years learning one particular skill. And then they come out and they tell you this is an engineer, this is a doctor, or this is a business administrator. Now, that person has dedicated so much time to attaining that skill. When it comes to tech, people want to become tech gurus in 3 months, in 6 months. And when they are able to do so, they look at themselves and begin to say, well, maybe I'm not good enough. But that is not the truth. The problem is you're not giving yourself enough time to learn this thing. If it's going to take someone 4 years or 5 years to get an engineering degree, and you want to learn a particular skill, you then also should be able to give yourself enough time to get that. So that is one way you can break that stereotype of feeling, yes, you're not cut out for tech. Now, another thing I would like us to look at is the issue of age and time, right? So for me to be able to pick up a tech skill, I should be able to dedicate enough time. Yes. I would also advise that it is it is it is going to be much better for you as a person to pick up the skill when you have enough free time on your hands. That way, you do not begin to look down on yourself when you're able to get certain things. You know you have enough time to grasp it. Now, one problem we have today is people want to learn these skills under pressure. And you will agree with me that whatever you do under pressure yields little to no results. Because if you are pressuring me to do something, I might end up doing it the wrong way or making a very big mistake. That's why you see it takes 7 years for someone to be a medical doctor, and afterwards they will go to medical school here in Nigeria before they can actually go and administer treatment to anyone. They also have to carry out their residency. So you see how long it takes for someone to become skilled at being a doctor. Give yourself time. Just be able to pour yourself into what you want to do. Tell yourself this is what I'm going to do at this point, and this is what I want to add. This is where I want to be at this point. Now, when you're able to set goals for yourself, you are going to outgrow all of these stereotypes because every single person who is what they are today were able to do it because they had one the time and two they had the opportunity. So when you have the opportunity, then need to give yourself the time. Now, for you to be able to move from one point to the other, that time in between is really, really important. I was talking to someone a few days back, and she was talking about learning UI UX design. I think we spoke a few months ago, and I gave her some tips. And about 2 weeks ago, we talked again, and she was making mention of learning Python, learning this and learning that. I was like, "What are you doing?" Now, most people who go into tech just to prove most of the stereotypes right, like we said, I said earlier, they try to uh, grasp these skills in a very short space of time. And when they are unable to, it becomes a problem. Now, what happens when you are learning this thing under pressure? Let's say I have 6 months to learn tech and start earning because that's the end game for everyone. I have 6 months to learn tech and start earning. And for me to do that, I'm already under pressure. Um, it means I'll probably be learning with the aim of I'm going to earn, not learning with the aim of knowing what I'm doing. Now, when you learn with the aim of knowing what you're doing, it helps you attain mastery there faster. When you attain mastery, you can then begin to think about earning because you cannot earn with something you do not know how to do. For you to be a plumber, you need to know how to lay pipes and do all of those things that plumbers do. And that's when you begin to earn. That's when people will call you up and say, "We have a job for you, come and take this up." It's really important that you stay focused, right? So one, give yourself time. Two, do not learn under pressure of I want to earn in 3 months or 6 months. And three, stay focused. Now, this is a very, very important aspect. I too made a similar mistake when I started out my tech career. Today I'm learning HTML and CSS. Tomorrow I'm learning this. This one is not going to work. I'm going to move on to this one. And it took me more time to actually break through in tech or break into tech per se because I was not focused on one thing. I was learning different things at the same time, and I wasn't really getting. So it was more like jack of all learning and master of none. So I was learning. I was not doing anything what I was learning. I had books that I wrote lots of stuff in, but I never used any of them for anything because I was not focused. So it's important to stay focused. If you're learning UI UX design, give yourself time. Do proper research and find out how long it takes people who are in that same field to break in. So you do not give yourself unnecessary, put yourself under unnecessary pressure. Now, when you find out how long it takes the average person to break in, factor in how much time you're going to have to spend. So, what our advice is if you have, say, a 90-hour course to complete, that 90-hour course, add half of that time to that 90 hours, which is going to give you 135 hours. And then break down 135 hours into how many hours you're going to be able to spend daily learning what you're learning. Now, when you're able to do this, it's going to help you focus more on what you're doing. So you know today I'm going to spend 2 hours learning this. And if you're able to dedicate that 2 hours daily, every day, guess what? In less than 3 months, you would have completed that course. And then the next phase will be to build. Now, another problem people have in breaking into tech is that they keep learning and learning and learning, but they're not actually growing. Because they say practice makes perfect, but I like to say practice brings growth. So the more you practice, the more you grow. So if I'm learning a tech skill I have learned to a point, I should be able to start using that text page to do something so that I can measure how much I have grown. That way, I'll know where I was yesterday, so that where I am today. But if you're not practicing, you're not learning, you're not building stuff, there's no way for you to actually tell if you're growing or not. You're just going to be in one spot. And yeah, that's what will bring most of the issues we have. Now, while when Grace was talking, she made mention of imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is everywhere, happens to everyone. Even your senior developers, senior engineers, senior designers have imposter syndrome as well. Now, this comes when you are faced with a big challenge and you feel it's going to be much more difficult for you to surmount because you've not learned this, So when you begin to think of, when you begin to focus on the things you have not been able to do, it makes you begin to doubt yourself, and that's when imposter syndrome sneaks in. So in whatever career you're in, it can happen. So what you need to do is focus on what you can actually do and give yourself room to grow. I'm going to round up here because I believe I only have 15 minutes. Whatever questions are going to come up from this, I'll be available to provide answers. And I hope that somebody is going to actually pick up something from here today and determine on their own and say to themselves that I am going to make it in this tech field. Thank you very much. It seems like our host is having technical difficulties. Uh, we'll just wait for her to come back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Welcome back.
All right, thank you. Okay. Funny how I was speaking, I thought everyone could hear me. All right, it's fine. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I was saying thank you so much for that session. It was so insightful. I mean, one of the things I got there is practice actually brings growth. You don't just arrive. You have to give yourself time. And you should not also give into pressure. The pressure of, oh, everybody's doing it. Everybody, this person is earning a lot, when he's doing so much, and the person is in the limelight and all of that, and you just want to rush the whole process. You should actually give yourself time, give into more practice, because practice brings growth. So thank you so much, sir, for that session. It was such an insightful one. So we'll go to the question and answer session now, more like a panel session. We have questions for you. Please, if you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box. We're going to pick it up and ask. I'm going to bring up Grace again. Yeah. So we can, yes, thank you. Thank you, Grace. Yeah. Thank you. So this is like male and female. So we're trying to, try. We are going to be giving you questions, to give us that more expository talk on it. Grace mentioned something around the fact that we really need to outgrow talking about, women don't go wanting to go into tech, which is very, very, very true. But then it still amazes me that all of these things are we are in that space right now where everybody are into tech. But you also mentioned that someone still even asked you recently that what is this tech all about? So
Yeah.
it's funny how these things are really in our face. We can see it all over the internet. I mean, it's as if tech is the only thing right now, and people are just really, you would see a lot of schools coming up. They want to teach people tech, how to go into data analysis and all of that. But there are still just some people that really do not just have this understanding of what tech is all about. So I think the first question here would go to Grace. Yeah, I'm taking the question to you because of your story that you shared. I mean, you
All
were a
right.
baker, and you had to learn by yourself through the internet and some other things that you had to do. So my question is, were you um what prompted you to go into graphics design itself? Because now it is the technical part of it, and people are not just understanding that you need to, or let me put the question like this: do we really need to rely on our strengths and our interests to decide the type of tech career we want to go into? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Do we
Yeah.
need to rely on, okay, maybe I'm good, I can talk. So because I can talk, maybe I should just make myself a content creator. I should just open this my phone and start creating content. Or do I really need to, it's just something I need to sit down with to know the type of career path I should choose?
All
That's the
right.
question. Thank you.
All right. So, although to answer that question, we can't really leave out the fact that there are personality differences, there are place of strength and weakness. But like I mentioned earlier, that there was a point I had to learn Python for a particular reason, and I was good at it. Is that not a confusion? And at the same time, I like
Yeah.
graphic design. So if I had even felt like, okay, I want to do UI/UX, probably I might be good. But what motivated me was the solution I feel like I can create easily, or what I really want to attend to at that present time. It will just be expected that at any time I can decide to, try to venture into another part based on need at the moment. So then I was a baker and I decided to start creating toppers. It was not because I loved colors or I really wanted to be a graphic designer. I just felt like, okay, this thing can be done better. The toppers I buy can be printed in more better qualities. And I decided to, venture into that. And over time, I started liking it. So I realized that when I pick up something over time, if you have the right intention to find a solution to something, until you see it done, you won't leave it. So I believe that
Mm.
as much as you can be good, you can be versatile about it. Another thing I think I wanted to say the other time is that when you have a foundation of something, it is easy to build on it. So the reason why I progressed in graphic design was that I already had the basic knowledge of making the simple what's it called, cake toppers. And over time I was just too curious, the fact that, okay, they said it is this the same software they use for making these fine flyers, and I really was interested that, okay, in space of few hours someone can create this thing, this beautiful flyer. So I stayed on that particular point until I saw that I was satisfied, or to know, or to satisfy my curiosity in that field. So if you want to go into tech, or you're looking at where to project into, what foundation do you have before? If nothing, what do you like to do? What will you like to do? What sort of problem will you like to solve? Because that's what will keep you going over time. The answer might be so broad, depending on a lot of things, but basically I would just say that the best person that know what to do is just you. And you can keep asking questions until you know. Don't stop asking. If you don't know what tech is, keep asking until you find the answer to it. Don't just assume. There are some people that when they start mentioning some tech jargon, they are already tired. So, but be so stern on developing yourself that until you get the answer to what you want, because it will be hard that someone is pushing something to you. It is hard that you are picking based on what you just like. You have to know what all this thing entails, and over time, although you might not have the full picture, but at least be sure you are the one that understand what you are going into, not someone understanding for you and telling you, don't worry, you catch up. No, I think this is what I want to do and I'm going into it. So I believe I've answered that in my own capacity.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, what stood out for me there is the fact that there must be something you are willing to provide solution to. Really, we really need to understand that. Can you still hear me? Sorry, I need to confirm. All right, thank you. So, Mario, we have that same. The same question goes to you. I would like to love your view on that as well. Do you also think that it has to do with what I have interest in, or what I'm good at, what my strength is, before I can choose a tech career?
Okay, the answer to that is yes and no. So the yes part is your interests and your strengths make it a lot easier for you. So if I'm interested in a certain thing and there's a tech skill for that, it's going to make it easier for me to break into tech if I follow that, right? And the no part is you don't really need to stick to that. So you might be interested in something and there's no tech skill for it. That doesn't mean you cannot come to tech.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm interested in something and it's not related to take. That's true. Thank you so much for your answer. So my next question goes to Maru. Okay, so the question is: do you think education, education exposure has to do play has any role to play in in tech? I mean, probably we need to. There's a need to give early exposure, probably from now, especially to the upcoming generation. Do you think exposure to this tech thing, we have to give it to them early enough? Do you think it plays a role in the tech world right now? I don't know if you my question is clear.
Yeah, it's clear. So you're asking the role of early exposure in tech.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
okay, so for me personally, I think early exposure plays a really big role in tech. So yes, it is possible for you to get what you need to get at an older age, but the earlier you start learning, the better it becomes for you. Even psychologically speaking, children tend to pick up things a lot faster. That's why people are able to learn multiple languages. And it gets to a certain age, you are no longer capable of learning so much anymore, right? Yes, you can still learn, but not as well as the person who is way younger than you are. So early exposure to tech skills is really going to be important. So things like Scratch for the baby programming, and then they can progress into other programming languages, or even exposing them to CorelDRAW and all other tools that can help them pick a certain interest in tech. So as early as possible, people should be exposed to tech.
All right. Thank you very much. So we have a question from someone. So the question is, what are the common mistakes that we need to avoid when breaking into tech? What are the common mistakes that we need to really, really avoid when breaking into tech? So anyone can answer that really.
Okay. So Grace, ladies first.
All right, it's just something simple is that one thing I would tell anybody that is going into tech today is that you should give room for to explore. You should give room. That is why early learning, I would have said that earlier, that it's aids time to explore, because you, like Mr. Oh God, how do I pronounce your name? Oh, like you said,
Mar-
all right, like you said that the earlier you start learning, the better, because you need room to really find your footing. So when you are coming into tech, don't come with the mindset that, okay, in the next 6 months, this is what I will start doing and I'm done. Because I believe that there are some parts you are even choosing that you have to learn a lot of what do they call it now? A lot of applications, or what do these people say it now? A lot of things to learn before you and kickstart or even know where you are going. You learn Python today, HTML tomorrow. Yeah, you mentioned something like Tableau, and I believe when will you now start doing something? So I believe that coming into tech, you have to give room to explore, to know the direction you're really going to. So you should avoid that. That don't just think I'm starting this month and this is I'm starting with Python and Python it is. You might tomorrow be find yourself somewhere. So give room to explore and to know what you really want to do.
Okay, so to add to that, I think I was supposed to mention that one of the stereotypes is people think tech is a solo mission. It is not. So you need a community. It is really, really important. It's going to help you grow massively when you have a community. You need mentorship. That's one issue people we have over here in Africa. People do not really want to be mentored. So when you have mentors, when you have a mentor who is seeing to the fact that you're learning what you're learning, you're growing, it's going to actually help you learn faster. And I think I mentioned this when I was talking. People need to give themselves time. So the time there will help you go, make mistakes, learn from them, and really find where you should actually fit in when it comes to tech.
Thank you so much. Mentorship. It can never be overemphasized. I think the last talk that we had, that was one topic that the person also dwelt on. We really need mentorship. Thank you so much for that question. I hope the question was answered by the person that asked. Thank you very much. So, maybe the second to the last question from my own end would be that how do we challenge the stereotype that women are not capable in certain the technical parts of tech? When I mean technical parts, we all know this coding thing is always seeming like coding is one giant. So I'm going to ask Mr. Maru first because I know that's like one area that you have. So do you really how can we challenge that stereotype really that women are not capable to handle the technical part of tech?
Okay, for those of us who do not know, I want you all to understand that some of the very first software engineers on earth were women. For those of us who do not know that.
Wow.
So, yes, it is not a main thing. I know women who are top software engineers, like backend developers, senior engineers, right? So it's not really an issue that women cannot do this or they are not capable of doing it. The thing is, women need to be more enlightened to the fact that this is not too difficult for you to do. It's already a huge task to manage yourself as a woman. So if you're able to manage yourself as a human being, as a woman, then you should be able to manage whatever tech field is thrown at you. As long as you have the passion for it, you should be able to do it. So the fact that you're a woman does not limit you from being a senior a software engineer in any way. So education and orientation is what is really needed here. Let the young women know that they can do this. It's not be left for the men alone. As long as you can get into it. You see, today now we have a lot of tech programs and tech boot camps specifically directed at women. Why? Because the belief is women are unable to do this, but that's not actually true. It is just because many women are not venturing into the field, and that is why the women in the field are few. So we need to encourage more women to venture into the field.
Thank you so much. Education and orientation. Thank you very much. So Grace, what would you like to say to that as well?
All right. I would like to say that or add that any stereotype can be broken when people are made to see that this can be done. And thank God we have a lot of role models, like he said. So, and I believe so strongly that we women or ladies can better be good at this because we can process a lot of inputs. So, but the limitation we have now is that, the workspace and the number of things ladies have to deal with, we understand that our body is monthly and the workspace does not permit time for slacking. That, okay, this month you just feel like you don't want to do it again. And because of these reasons, you are giving birth at this point and, they would believe that you can't sustain the energy. But because we have ladies that are frontiers now, we know that it's possible. So we need to expose ourselves to people or let women know that there's no limitation to the technical part. Truly, ladies process a lot of things. And I was listening to a particular tech talk, and the woman gave a statistics I can't remember now that they tested some organization that they replaced the men with the women, and in 2 or 5 years there was 65% increase or productivity for the organization because they did a lot of put a lot of things in place for the women. They gave them chance to relax at a particular point. They needed time to rest, and when they are coming back with full force, just to let you know and let you see that women are not limited in any way, just that we just have to give women or give ladies the chance they need to, and understanding them. So that is why there are many advocates for women in tech, ladies. It is hard to even find men in tech. It is just for them to see. So the stereotype will be broken as long as ladies or women are allowed to see the possibilities of learning those coding and technical part. I think that's where the question is directed. The coding part of, can a lady code? It is too technical for her. She won't be able to cope with it. No, we even process that better. We do well. Ladies in that field are so excellent because we we are built to take in a lot of input and process it. So I think that was my answer to the question.
All right, thank you. So women are excellent in that field. Mr. Maro, get ready for us in that field. We are excellent in that field. All right. Thank you so much. I mean, this has really been a very, very insightful and informative session. So lastly, we'd just like you to, advise everyone out there, ladies, guys, I mean, probably anyone that really like probably have been limiting themselves due to probably background, not having access to certain tools, not having access to probably things like they don't have the communities to leverage on. What are their what's your advice to them? That will be my last question. Let's have Grace first, then Maro.
I was trying to start thinking, but thinking of coming second. So I'm just a typical answer to that question that I said earlier that I was able to know how to operate the computer. That's 2019. 2020. That was when I started having that's 3 years ago to even boot a laptop, to let you know how serious it was. And my exposure to laptop or everything was still 3 years ago. I never had the chance to. The best I could do with the laptop was watch a movie, and they must have probably set the movie in place. I can only probably forward it, play, and pause. I was also so scared to do anything. So the background was the issue, exposure was a limitation, anything and everything. And because of where I'm coming from, I don't even know there are people in tech. I just know that we want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you are becoming something. And school decided to give us a course that is not even rated. So you shouldn't limit yourself. Just expose yourself. I like the word exposure in the sense that what your mind can create when you see it happening, it is easy for you to latch onto it. Um, Giving yourself to watching stuff that will inspire you. You can't imagine yourself in a situation that is a disadvantage, and you yourself, you are now digging yourself, putting yourself into it. I know that the most of my productive time is when I watch things that are above me. I watch ladies speaking or watch a motivational speech that someone that is my age mate is speaking. I get motivated and I just feel like, okay, this situation, I shouldn't be here. And you won't believe that in just a short while, I'm out of it already. I see myself doing things. And again, I would say that don't get lost, or what's that thing I wrote down now? Try to know what is happening in your season. Try to just, even if you are not in it, try to know what is happening in your season. Don't forget that, okay, the world is moving, even though you are not there yet, there are limitations, but just be informed about what is happening, so that when opportunity to even speak about it, to even if you don't have the necessary things, tools to use now, you are knowledgeable enough that even you are giving, you can kickstart early. Ruby's technology that I work for, this is something at Joko Projects, we do that every year. And the guy that won the laptop, one of the guys that won the laptop, already was coding with his phone. So when the laptop came, it was so easy for him to just win it because he already had the skill. So you can, don't limit yourself. People say, I don't have a laptop, I can't code. Some people started with their phone. So nothing is your limitation as long as you are exposing yourself, your mind, to things that are relevant in your season. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you so much. To not limit yourself. Prepare ahead. Prepare for opportunities. Like someone who always tell us, prepare for opportunities. Thank you so much. Let's have you, Maru.
Yeah, I would like to build on what you just said, prepare for opportunities. Now, many people will say, I was not lucky enough to get into tech or not lucky enough to get into this. No, luck is actually something you make for yourself. So when you groom yourself, when the opportunity comes, that is when you get lucky. But because opportunities will always come, the problem is, will you be prepared? You have to build yourself up to the point that whatever opportunity comes, you are able to take it. Do not limit yourself. Look at yourself and tell yourself, as long as someone else can do it, I can do it. This is not a motivational speech, all right? But I want you to understand that for you to be able to make it in tech, for you to be able to break into tech, you need some certain level of motivation. There will be times that you're going to lose hope. You're going to be frustrated when you get to learn things that are a lot difficult, more difficult than you expected. But the good thing to see is if you do not give up at that point, you're going to grow and you're going to make it in the end. So just to share a little story, when I first started out learning Android development in 2019, Java was dubbed as one of the hardest languages ever. I asked around, they're like, you're learning Java. Java is hard. Oh." So that first put some kind of fear in me, like, so I'm learning this very hard language. And because of that, I really didn't focus on learning the language. I was just trying to get things done. Right? Yes, I was getting things done, but I had no idea what I was doing. So you need to love the process, learn what you're doing, love what you're doing, and then go with it. Once you're able to do that, when opportunities come, you'll be able to grab them and run with them.
Thank you so much. Still on this opportunity, and thank you very much. With your permission, we have someone just dropped a question. I don't know. Can we just take one more question, please?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So the question is there assurance that I will make money if I join tech?
No.
Really?
Why?
Now, that is one stereotype too that I think we need to actually look at. There's no assurance in anything in this life, right? There's nothing you do that is 100% assured that you're going to do everything. But I can tell you that there's at least an 80 to 90% chance that you're going to make money if you get into tech. So all you need to do is get skilled at what you are doing, know what you are doing really well. Because the thing is, most people want to start making money without attaining mastery. Attain mastery, and then you can begin to make money. Now, mastery can differ from level to level. That's why you have entry level engineers for software engineers, you have mid level engineers, and then you have senior engineers. Now, have you attained mastery to the level where you can be compared to other junior engineers? If not, keep learning so that when you come in, people will know that yes, this is a junior, this is what is expected of a junior, and you can do it. Have you attained mastery to the level of a junior designer? If no, keep learning so that you get to that level where you can be compared to other junior designers. Not when I think you're able to design 20 screens in 1 week and you've been in 1 week you're not even able to design 5 screens. You have not attained mastery at that point. You need to keep learning. So the problem there is people want to start making money without learning. Learning comes before making money. Learn and then the money will come.
I mean, thank you. So it was great expression for me when that question came in. When Maro said no, she, she was surprised before Grace answered. I mean, I think I can relate to what Maro just said now. Like gaining mastery, like you can't just come today and I mean you just want to start making the millions and the billions in tech already. I mean, I think when I got my first role to after I learned a particular skill, and after a while, I felt like I was doing a lot. Of course, I was learning, but at that place, I felt like I was really doing a lot. And I spoke to a few people and were like, talk to your boss to increase your salary now. I mean, if it needs to increase your salary so that you can, if you feel like you are doing more. So at first I thought, okay, that's true. Maybe I should request. But then I thought about it. I had a lot to learn. There were so many things that I still did not know. So I'm very sure that if I had made that request, the question would be, can you do this? Can you do that? You are still not there. So because I was basically still just learning. So I mean that's the advice I got, I mean, from my mentor, that it's actually shaping me to really want to work more on my learning to increase my knowledge so that will aid whatever thing, even if I'm going to move to other part. I mean, I know that I'm going with a very good knowledge. So I mean I can relate. Thank you so much, Mario, for that. So Grace, let's have you.
All right, so the expression gave it. I was going to say yes because there are people that I know that went into tech for the money and they stayed motivated because of that money and eventually they made the money. So, like you said, there's even 70%, 50%, 100% chance of you making the money, but you can't remain mediocre and expect that they will start paying you senior level money for entry level skill. No. So you must stay motivated if money is what you are looking for. that maybe probably you just put it somewhere, but it will sustain you. Because at the point when the money is not coming, you get tired and you are looking for something else to give you money. But as much as you have money at the back of your mind, be go after excellence and not being a mediocre. And I believe that you make your money. So your money will come. They say there's money in tech. You will make your money, but don't let that be the core motivation for going into tech, because you won't fail. Oh, you won't get
So,
tired.
so our questionnaire is, I was actually thinking, I said, no, okay, if there's money in tech and you will make money, but learn first.
Yes, and
Yeah,
first.
I mean, yes, that's what we are saying. So, yeah, like it should be the learning part. I mean, and I think it also goes back to what you also said, Mario, about practice. I don't know if it was Mario or yeah, he said practice bring growth. There's a place of consistent practice, and I mean, you keep growing. The more you grow, the more the visibility is there for you. So, thank you so much. I mean, this was really a very insightful session. I really enjoyed the session. I'm sure that everyone enjoyed the session as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us part of your time today to share the world of your knowledge with us. And we hope that when next we call you, you will answer us. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thank you very much once again. Thank you. So to our audience, thank you so much for joining in as well. Thank you for I mean I believe today is weekend and we probably have a lot to do, and yet we make ourselves available. So thank you so much for your availability. More strength. God bless you. Thank you. And just few announcements, just one announcement in particular. Our summit is coming up, guys. Our first summit ever. The first Tech It Girls Summit is coming. And I mean, I wish I can unveil the speakers already, but I can't at this point. But by the time you see our speakers, you'll be amazed. So I want to encourage us, to prepare ahead of this summit. It's coming up on the 25th of November 2023, 11 a.m. And the amazing thing is, it is virtual. It is actually virtual. It is not an on site event. So you can actually be at the comfort of your room to tune into this program and listen into our speakers and our panelists. It promises to be an exciting session. There's a link to register for this program. There's a link to register for this program and to be shared across. I mean, you can follow us on our social medias and you'll get access to on all social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all platforms at Tech It Girls. Simply search at Tech It Girls and you'll get access to the links to register for this event. Thank you once again for joining in. It has been such an amazing time. Once again, thank you so much to our speakers, Miss Grace and Mr. Ogene Maro. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. I remain your hosts, Okolua. Thank you so much. Bye.